Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Chiranjit Mishra and I hope you all are doing very well. So today I'm going to go through all the major and minor news of News Today December 1st. And as it is customary, let's go through the headlines first. There are 4 main news and 9 also in news, and one of them is your place in the news. Let's go through without delay. The first main news is related to Assam's ST status. 6 more tribes are going to be added to the ST list. The next news is about global talks on ABS collapse in Lima. ABS means access and benefit sharing related to genetic, genetically different sources. But here it's about plant related sources. Okay. The next news is modernizing police forces. As Honorable Prime Minister, in an address to important senior police officers, said that it's high time India's police force or police forces across the states need to be modernized, taking into consideration the new challenges and emerging technologies. The last important news is the importance of Bhagavad Gita as highlighted by the Vice President of India, that Bhagavad Gita can be used as a source of ethics and governance. Now let's go through the also in news. First place in the news, which is Guinea-Bissau. It's a West African country. Okay, we'll go through that. And it's in the news because of another coup, a military coup to replace the current government. The other news items are the Supreme Court listing reforms. That means if you want to lodge a new case and you want to get a date for your hearing, you don't have to approach the bench in person or orally say that. There's a listing system which is absolutely digitalized. Next is Hansa 3NG launched. 3NG means NG means next generation, and Hansa is a training aircraft for trainee pilots. The third minor news is SIM binding rule. For example, you're using WhatsApp or Telegram. It's mandatory for this service for the owners of the platforms to make sure that every user has his or her SIM linked to WhatsApp and Telegram, which is there. But sometimes we use new devices. And what about those new devices? Okay, you can use your WhatsApp account or Telegram account in a new device only for a limited period of time from now onwards. Next, India wins at International Telecom Union. It sounds like a trophy or a game, but it's not that. We'll go through it. AI bubble debate. AI bubble debate means the big tech firms, they're saying that the current status of AI, which is not that big, but is shown to the world as something of great importance. For example, we are far away from artificial general intelligence, but the big tech companies are repeatedly using AI in a manner which makes it more important in outwardly or look-wise than it really is. Okay, so what are the reasons behind? We'll discuss. Next, soaps on stray dogs. That means SOAPs means these are procedural uh, directives on how to manage stray dogs, okay, especially in Delhi and NCR region. So this is actually based on the Supreme Court ruling. UNESCO Executive Board in India, again another achievement similar to what India did at ITU. And the UNESCO is also a specialized agency of the United Nations, just like ITU. And India has been admitted to its board for the next 4 years, which is also in a way achievement for India, the whole of the country. The last piece of news is very important from the point of view of those students who have anthropology as their optional subject. I'm sorry for the slip of tongue. Bertlefoot, which is a hominin species, which was discovered years ago, but now we have started to see it in a new light. Okay, it's very close to human beings, and but at the same time, its feet were functional, unlike human beings. We cannot grasp anything using our feet, but that species was able to. Okay, so without delaying, let's start with the first main news. Okay, I hope the screen is visible. And the first news is related to a group of ministers of the Assam state government and their directives to what can be done to the scheduled tribe status as regards several new tribes and other criteria. Okay, so what happened? Assam group of ministers recommends scheduled tribe status for 6 communities. For example, one of those communities is the famous T tribe of Assam. Okay, so this topic is important from the point of view of polity and governance, because there are constitutional provisions related to the upliftment of scheduled tribes in India, starting with your DPSP, Article 46, and there are other articles related to who can declare a tribe as an ST, that is the president of this country, and the role of parliament also. But the most important thing is what happened. 6 communities are going to be inserted into the ST list. But that has enraged one community in Assam, that is the Bodo community. Okay, we'll go to the next page, but remember Bodo community, the largest tribal community in Assam and one of the largest tribal communities in the whole of India. So why this community is enraged? They are actually afraid that if new communities come or join the list, then their position may be endangered, which is very natural. They want their space secure. They are actually one of the ST communities in Assam. But because new communities are going to be added, that is why they are slightly fearful. Okay? But we are not going to focus upon that. We're going to focus upon what is important from the point of view of UPSC's General Studies prelims and mains. Okay? Moving to the, so let's go through the important points. Which are the 6 communities? And what is group of ministers? That means it was not decided by the Assam State Cabinet. Assam's group of ministers, that means 4 to 5 important cabinet ministers, state cabinet ministers, put their heads together and came up with the following rules and regulations. Tai Ahom, T tribes of Adivasis, T tribes or T Adivasis, Moram, Motok, this is Chutia, and Koch Rajbansi. Rajbansi means Rajvansh. They're actually royal tribes. So these are the 6 tribes which are going to get the status of ST, scheduled tribe. And this scheduled tribe status is going to be pan-India, okay, all over India. There is also, why this was required? Because their population in the state is quite substantial. Together they form 27% of the state population and are currently listed under other backward classes. Okay, other backward classes में ये आपके आते हैं 27% ये. So this other backward classes is also a reservation category, but which is more important for these tribes? Scheduled tribe category, because you are going to get a lot more legal protection. Okay, and a new proposal which is very unique because Assam has a diverse geography. Assam has Brahmaputra Valley. At the same time, it also has some parts of the eastern Himalayas. So there are hill tribes, valley tribes, and plain tribes. Okay? So now there is this new classification, ST Valley. This category has been also added. But these classifications are only for the state of Assam. The moment you see scheduled tribes at the pan-India level, all these tribes will be put under one category, scheduled tribe. This threefold classification is only for the state of Assam. What is that? Your ST plains, ST hills, and this new category ST valley. Okay, that's it. Central reservation ke liye, as I said, no separate subcategories at the national level. So this has not happened yet. Again, the government is going to discuss. So there, a temporary arrangement has been made, okay, to please these 6 communities. At the same time, they are also going to consult the Bodo tribe representatives. For the time being, the 6 tribal communities have been put under this subcategorized under 27% OBC. This is a temporary arrangement. In the future, they are going to get ST status. That's all, nothing new. Okay. As regards UPSC asked a question on particularly vulnerable tribal groups, PVTGs. Okay, PVTGs. So it was asked in the year 2019. These are the questions. Okay, these are the questions asked. What else you can think? What questions can be asked? Have you heard of? Again, this topic is also important for anthropology students, those who have anthropology as their optional subject, and from the point of view of GS2 as well as UPSC prelims. They may ask you a question, Lokar Committee. Have you heard of this name? ये committee किसके साथ जुड़ा हुआ है? Police reforms, education reforms, tribal reforms. It's related to tribal reforms. It was a committee, some additional piece of information. set up in 1965, and it set 5 criteria. On the basis of those 5 criteria, a tribe can be regarded as scheduled tribe. What are those 5 criteria? Number one, एक हो गया backwardness, economic backwardness. Okay. Number two, distinctive culture. Distinctive culture. Okay. Number three, geographical isolation. Remember, this is very important from the point of view of prelims and mains. They may ask you what are the criteria suggested by the Lokur committee. They may ask you about Lokur committee directly or the criteria. So backwardness, distinctive culture. Third हो गया आपका geographical isolation, काफी दूर है from the mainstream population. 4, indicative of primitive traits. That means their lifestyle components are mainly primitive. They cannot be equated with our lifestyle, okay? Because we live in a civilized society. We can also call the society civilized, but from a different point of view. And lastly, shyness. Tribal people, those are very shy. They don't want to be a part of mainstream population, okay? That's all. Now let's move to the next piece of news, okay? Which is the 11th session of the governing body of ITP GRFA concluded in Lima, Peru. Okay. So you may think ये है क्या? It's a very complicated, tough sounding abbreviation. Let's expand it. It's actually International Treaty on Plant-Based Genetic Resources for Food and Agriculture. It's International Treaty on plant-based genetic resources for food and agriculture. Even if my handwriting is not legible on the board, I hope because I read it out, you have understood. You can pause the video and note it down. Okay. So this particular treaty was signed in alignment with a bigger convention on biological diversity. I hope you all know that. ठीक है, biological diversity, and diversity में आता क्या क्या है? Plants, animals, starting from what lies within a plant and animal, उसके genes, DNA, सब कुछ. These things form what we call biodiversity. So biodiversity is an all-encompassing term. सब कुछ आता है उसमें. And with regard to it, by showing due respect to that convention, a separate treaty was signed. It doesn't come under CBD directly, but it is well in harmony with Convention on Biological Diversity. करता क्या है? This treaty is all about sharing plant-related resources. Seeds हो गया, पौधा हो गया, ठीक है? Mostly those plants which can be cultivated as crops. For example, okay, rice, different varieties of rice. Number 2, wheat, maize. These are crops meant for human beings. Also apart from these crops, there are also fodder crops meant for animals. Okay, जिसको हम बोलते हैं forage crops. FORAGE. इसमें सब कुछ आता है. कुछ हिस्सा मेज का भी आता है, which is eaten or consumed by cattle. So all the resources related to different types of rice varieties, wheat varieties, some gene-specific information. For example, there are certain plant varieties or crop varieties which are drought-resistant or disease-resistant. वो पौधा लगाएंगे तो it won't be affected by pests or climate change. So these seeds are wanted by the entire world. So what happens? For example, I have this variety. It's endemic to India. Okay, there is a variety called plant X, which is endemic to India. सिर्फ इंडिया में मिलता है. And some foreign nation steals the information related to the plant X which is grown or endemic to India without taking India's permission, commercializing it, selling it in the market without sharing profit. So without sharing information, without sharing profit, you are growing a plant or a crop which is endemic to India. That means India cannot be happy, or any other country like India cannot be happy. You are using our natural resources without taking our permission. Okay, so this is a violation of the treaty. That means, as per this treaty, all the member countries, there are nearly, I guess, 150 plus member countries, whoever is a part of this or signed the treaty, it is legally binding for them. That means this treaty is legally binding. कौन सा? This international treaty on plant-based genetic resources for food and agriculture. ये लीगली बाइंडिंग है कि यू हैव टू टेक परमिशन और क्रिएट अ पूल विच इज इन पब्लिक साइट. You can refer to that pool to steal information, not steal information, to obtain information, but not without seeking the information of the source country. Okay, that is what all this, that is what the treaty is all about. So what treaty का एक 11th session था governing body का. Every treaty has a governing body to make sure the rules and provisions of the treaty are followed and to conduct meetings from time to time. But this meeting was not very successful. Why? Because those countries which are quite diverse in terms of biodiversity, natural biodiversity, they want more concessions or more favorable provisions from those countries, like the developed countries, which do not have natural resources, but they want to exploit their natural resources. Again, it's a tug of war between what you can say the developed and developing, ing. This is ED, developed versus developing. Developing countries are developing, but countries, many countries in Africa, in South America, Brazil, like Argentina, and India, and other Southeast Asian countries, they are naturally very diverse. So they have plenty of plant resources and plant resources which have commercial potential. And this commercial potential is going to be exploited by the developed countries in a very, what you can say, in such a manner that it's going to exclusively benefit the commercializing countries. Okay. So इस बार fail क्यों हुआ? 11th session में we'll get to know. Let's move to the next page. And again, this topic is important from the point of view of environment mostly. Maybe there is a very slim chance that it can be a very hot topic for GS paper 2 international relations, because international relations can now there are two more or three more emerging limbs. एक हो गया emerging technology, climate change, and trade and economy. Okay, especially with related to traditional knowledge systems. ठीक है. So mostly GS paper 3, but GS paper 2 के लिए भी ये important हो सकता है. Okay. So what is ITPGRFA? I have already explained. International Treaty on Plant-Based Genetic Resources for Food and Agriculture. Talks to strengthen the MLS, multilateral system. वही system है जो मैं बोल रहा था. A common pool to share information. It has failed. Okay, it has failed. Why? Payment mechanisms. Developing countries को कितना देना चाहिए? They are not happy with the payment, current payment status or payment criteria. Maybe they wanted more money. Sharing ratio 90 plus 10. Developing countries बोलेगा, if we make profit from your resources, we'll give you 10 rupees and we'll take 90 rupees. Is it favorable? No. I'm not talking, I don't know about the exact ratio and you don't need to remember. You just need to memorize payment mechanisms. Yeah, for how you're going to pay, when you're going to pay, okay, on the basis of that. Annex 1 expansion. Annex 1 of this treaty. Annex 1 इसका एक annexure है जो it lies at the end of the treaty. And this annexure consists of the food crops, which is I guess some 30 plus in number. Number 2, fodder crops. The information regarding which can be shared. So what happened here? The developed countries wanted to expand this annexure. They wanted to add more items. Okay, but developing countries said no. That means you are going to steal information related to all the natural resources present in our countries. We want to be very selective. We cannot add more crops or more genetically diverse items to this list. ये annex जो annex 1 है, that's why it could not be expanded. DSI rules. DSI means digital sequence information, which is again information related to the DNA sequence of various crops. As I mentioned earlier, if there is a crop which is drought resistant, it has got some specific genes, and information related to those genes are available on a website, okay, for free. So they're going to download, and that endemic species is available only in India. So foreign countries क्या करेंगे? सीधा they will check the genetic code क्या है? They can artificially create such crops without buying from India. India will say, okay, if you want to use this crop, buy it from us and give us money. If it's digitally available and due to emerging technologies, we can create genetic sequence, we can steal genetic, or we can steal information related to that special gene, जिसके कारण वो gene के कारण that crop is drought resistant, and we can insert that gene in our crops without informing India, I mean without informing the source country. So how is the source country going to benefit? As a result of these things, the talks failed. Okay, MLS covers 35 crops. मैंने बोला था food crops, 29 forest crops, 80% of the total global plant diet. So now about ITP GRFA, it was signed in the year 2001. Signed हुआ था 2001 में. Very important from the point of view of UPSC prelims. But it came into force 3 years later, 2004 में. And India is a signatory. There are 154 countries plus EU. That's it. That's it, nothing more. Khatam. Okay. SMTA, ये हो गया, वही हो गया, the standard material transfer procedure. SMTA axis, the SMTA, this is one more abbreviation. This means SMTA, standard material transfer. Plant seed हो, exactly crop हो, या फिर other genetic material. Standard material transfer agreement. This is like a contract. You have to, every signatory is bound by this contract. That means if you want to borrow information or product, you have to follow certain rules, which I discussed earlier. That is called SMT only. The guidelines or the set of instructions that every signatory has to follow. It prevents misuse and ensures fair commercial benefit sharing. जो मैंने बोला, okay? India defended sovereign rights. India was also not very happy with the demands of the commercializing nations. Sovereign rights, that means it's my sovereign right to protect my endemic species. Opposed opaque drafting, वही हो गया. Opacity means it's not transparent. And sought full reconsideration at GB12. ये GB11 था, which took place in Lima. Lima is in Peru, a South American country. बोले कि आगे देखेंगे, हम आगे देखेंगे in GB12. अभी के लिए इतना ही. So it's like to be continued. To be continued. यहाँ पे important क्या है आप समझ चुके होंगे. You need to know about the treaty, when it was signed, what it's all about, whether India is a signatory or not, from the point of view of prelims. Okay. Now let's move to a question. I couldn't come across a direct question in prelims, but a similar question related to traditional knowledge system was asked, okay, in 2019. How is the government of India protecting traditional knowledge of medicine from patenting? Okay, again it's related to patenting. It's about commercializing crops. Okay, similar question, not the same. Third important news, which is need to modernize policing practices with the vision of Viksit Bharat. Viksit Bharat means it's a very broad term. Developed Bharat. Vikas means development, progress. So Viksit Bharat में सब कुछ विकसित होना चाहिए. Not just the economy, but also other aspects of governance or different aspects of governance. And one of which is the police forces of the Indian states. Okay, because there are new challenges. Not just traditional crimes are taking place. In addition to traditional crimes, also new types of crimes. It's not just about knives and daggers and bullets or murder and rape. Now there are white crimes. What are white crimes? New, sophisticated financial frauds using digital technology. If the criminals or the thieves have become so smart, the police need to be, it's used in plural sense, the police need to be smarter. For smart criminals, smarter police. If you're not smart enough, the criminals will get away with all the crimes. Okay. So now let's see what Honorable Prime Minister said. Again, a small part of this story is also about how people perceive police. Okay. Because we have this image in mind that the entire police system is corrupt. Okay, which is not true. So they have to make us believe that no, dear citizens, we are not corrupt. Okay. So one part of the address by Honorable Prime Minister was also about the popular perception of police forces in India. Two aspects, modernization, which we are going to discuss, and the second one was popular perception of police. Okay. Let's move to the next page. Need to modernize policing practices with the vision वो हो गया. PM highlighted the need for modern tech-ready policing to achieve Viksit Bharat. Tech ready means digitally you have to be efficient. You have to use modern weapons. You cannot simply carry the old pistols that we see in movies. The criminals, they have AK-47, AK-56. They have high-speed bikes, just like in Dhoom. And you're using your normal traditional gypsies and Purana bikes, using which you cannot catch the criminals. Okay, I just simplified it. Just there are many more things that need to be modernized. AI-driven and white-collar crimes are rising, demanding new policing capabilities. Discussed. Police suffer infrastructure gaps, transport, communication, weapons and training. Discussed. ठीक है? Training भी नहीं हो रहा ठीक से. That means regular training is very important. And there was also some guidelines related to the fitness of the police personnel. Okay, fitness. At the same time, another major problem is there are not sufficient police personnel in this country. Okay, there are not sufficient police personnel in this country. 152.8, 153 personnel for 1 lakh population. The recommendation is close to 200, 196, which is as per BPRD, Bureau of Police Research and Development. BPRD, they may ask in the prelims. Bureau of Police Research and Development. So Bureau of Police R&D basically है, ठीक है? Recommendation है कि इस country में for every 1 lakh population there should be 200 police personnel starting from constable to police officers. But the number is very low. Not very low, at least 25% low. 152. 100 होने चाहिए 75 हैं, 200 होने चाहिए 150 हैं. But this is for the entire nation. Some states are doing very well. For example, in Andhra Pradesh, AP में there are 200 police personnel per 1 lakh population, which is fairly above the suggested figure. While in states like West Bengal or Bihar में, which are very densely populated, it's close to 70. Very disappointing, isn't it? So there is actually this state level disparity, but the national figure on the whole is 25% below or less than the suggested figure. Okay, enough. This is a perennial problem, it's okay. So again, modernizing requires AI NAT-grid use. NAT-grid is the National Intelligence Grid, where all sorts of information are shared between different enforcement and security agencies like CBI, okay, ED, then you have your, what do you call it, the CBIC, Central Board of Indirect Taxes, CBIT. All tax-related crimes, financial crimes, counter-terrorism actions, and all the potential criminals' data related to their tax accounts, okay, their individual information, everything is available on NAT-grid. It's like a grid. Grid means connecting different platforms and different services, different departments, okay. And unfortunately, the state police forces were not part of NAT-grid. NAT-grid के part नहीं थे, okay. NAT-grid में क्या था सिर्फ the central forces, okay, CBI हो गया, ED हो गया, ठीक है, नेशनल इन्वेस्टिगेशन एजेंसी हो गया, CB, डायरेक्टरेट ऑफ रेवेन्यू इंटेलिजेंस, ये सब थे. बट एंड अगेन सेंट्रल आपका CAPF हो गया. But the state police forces were not there. But later, I think just 7-8 years ago, they also added the state police forces. But the state police forces are not well equipped to use the platform. If you can access the platform but you don't know how to use it, then what's the point of having access to this grid? Okay, and especially when you have data science is emerging as a field, so you need to have not data scientists, police personnel well equipped or well versed with the various aspects of data science and artificial intelligence. Government reforms और क्या क्या अभी तक किया है? These are the challenges, requirements. किया क्या है? ASAMP, assistance to states and UTs union territories, okay, by the center. Financial for modernizing of police force. So center is going to make sure that each and every state is well equipped, is making or putting in efforts to modernize its police force. Okay, it's a central level scheme. New criminal laws. We have now new criminal laws IPC is gone, code for criminal procedure is gone. They have been replaced by new Sahitas, Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita, Bharatiya uh, Nagarik Suraksha Samhita, which is Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita replaced IPC, BNSS replaced CRPC, and Bharatiya Sakshi Adhiniyam, which replaced Indian Evidence Act 1872. And smart, ये सब के साथ भी you need to be conversant because the sections have changed. Now section 302 for murder is gone. Section 420 for thievery or चोरी के लिए जो sorry for fraud 420 that is also changed. That was under actually the Indian Penal Code, which was an old code. And now it has been replaced with BNS. Calls for a whole of government approach. It sounds like a generic line, but very important. That means the police forces should not just have enforcing power, but also to take the help of community and rehabilitating the existing criminals so that they can change their lives. Okay, because police is not there to punish. Police is there to make sure law and order is followed. That is its primary responsibility. Okay. So that's all about this news. Last major news is your Bhagavad Gita, which should serve as a universal guide offering moral clarity, which has been, this is the statement of the Vice President of this country. Okay. Of course, Bhagavad Gita was also in the news 8 months earlier because it formed a part of the UNESCO Memory of World Register along with Natya Shastra. It's a very hot topic from the point of view of both mains and prelims. And it's important not just from the point of view of GS paper 1, but also GS paper 4, ethics. They keep asking you questions about personalities and other sources. This time they may ask you about Bhagavad Gita. The core principles or essence of Bhagavad Gita, which can be important or serve as a guiding force for a civil servant. Okay. So please focus on Bhagavad Gita, not just the factual aspects. So there is no time to read this bulky book, okay, which is very important, but you just need to know the salient features. We'll briefly discuss. Bhagavad Gita is a part of Mahabharata, which is a Sanskrit dialogue between Arjuna and Krishna. So it's a part of Mahabharata. Mahabharata has 18 parvas, okay, 18 chapters. Bhagavad Gita is the 6th chapter. Bhagavad Gita is the 6th chapter. And the 6th chapter of Mahabharata is called Bhishma Parva. The chapters are called Parvas, 18 Parvas. And Bhagavad Gita, this may be a question for you UPC prelims, okay? Because of its cultural importance, Mahabharata can be a good source, just like Bhagavad Gita. Just like a few years ago, UPC asked about Kautilya's Arthashastra, okay? 6th chapter is about Bhishma Parva. The first chapter is Adi Parva. You don't need to remember the names of all the 18 Parvas. Adi means Adi, beginning. Okay. So the first chapter and 18 chapters, I guess, Swarg Arohan Parva. Swarg means your ascent to heaven. Ultimately, the Pandavas go to heaven. Okay. They get tried there. So that is your Swarg. Swarg means heaven. Arohan means climbing. Swargarohan Parv. First is Adi, 18th, last is Swargarohan, and Bhagavad Gita is part of 6th. As I mentioned earlier, recently added to the UNESCO Memory of the World Register, I think in April 2025, along with, किसके साथ और था? Another important treatise on music and dance, Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra. These two were added. The essence of Bhagavad Gita, these points are important from the point of view of GS paper 4. Promotes Nishkam Karma. That means Karm karo, phal ki chinta na karo. Without desires. Which is contrary to Sakam Karma. That means desire driven duty or work. मैं करूँगा इसीलिए because I have some selfish interests or motives. But Bhagavad Gita denounces that. Bhagavad Gita focuses on Nishkam Karma. Advocates harmony through Lokasamgraha, balancing individual duty with collective welfare. That means what you're doing should have an overall healthy effect on the society. it should not be detached from the societal goals. Coming to the next page. Sthitapragya qualities. You must have come across this term which is very widely prevalent these days. Stoic. Marcus Aurelius. How to stay stoic, how to stay calm, quiet, unharmed, unfazed, unaffected by whatever is happening around you. Stay stoic. So Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita especially teaches or preaches about being sthita pragya. Okay, sthita pragya means pragya is related to wisdom. The wisdom should stay at its place, status quo. It should not change, unfazed, unaffected by what's happening around. Guides leadership through performance of swadharma, one's own duty, encourages decisiveness, humility, and self-awareness, ethical foundations. Very easy to remember lines, okay? So now let's move to the next page. Previous year question. No direct question on Mahabharata or Bhagavad Gita, but there was a question on Sangam literature. 10 marker. They may ask you about the importance of Bhagavad Gita. The importance, either GS paper 1 directly or GS paper 4. The importance or the salient features of Bhagavad Gita for civil servants. It's a good theme for GS paper 4. Now let's go through the place in news today, which is Guinea-Bissau, a West African country, as you can see. West Africa means the coastline is shared with Atlantic Ocean. Okay, ये आपका Atlantic Ocean हो गया, and this is your, I hope it's readable, Guinea-Bissau. The capital of which is Bissau. Country का नाम है Guinea-Bissau, capital है Bissau. Why it was in the news? Attempted coup. There is a gang or force of several rebels, a rebellious group wanted to snatch power from the current ruling government. So the fight was between rebels and president's loyal forces. उनके जो president हैं उनके loyal forces. ठीक है? That means this is government backed, this is anti-government, which is very common in African countries and the Southeast Asian countries. Myanmar जाओ, Thailand जाओ, Cambodia जाओ. There is always a coup attempt. Okay, coup is pronounced as coup. Capital हो गया Guinea-Bissau, borders Senegal, a country है West Africa to the north, and Guinea to the east. इसका नाम है Guinea-Bissau. Another is, this is Guinea, separate country. With the Atlantic Ocean to the west, ये west हो गया उसका. Major rivers include the Giba, Korobel, and Cashew. They may ask, not from the point of view of this country, they may ask, these rivers flow in which continent? South America, Africa, Europe, or maybe a part of Asia, say Southeast Asia. So you need to remember. Don't put in a lot of effort to memorize the information, okay? But just need to know that Guinea-Bissau, ये भी आ सकता है. It's important from the point of view of IR in UPSC prelims. These days there appear match the following questions: countries, incidents, or occurrences. Okay. Moving to the next news. The first minor news: no need for oral mentioning, automatic listing of urgent matters in 2 days. SC ने बोला है. What happened? For example, if you want to file a litigation, अभी का process, what is the prevalent system, current system? To get a hearing date of hearing, you need to approach the bench and tell them. Either you cannot approach directly through a lawyer कि इनको एक तारीख दी जाए. You have to say this orally. Now this system is gone. You can simply digitally apply, or digitally they will give priority to your, they will give assigned dates to your cases on the basis of priority. If it's very urgent, 48 hours में हो जाएगा वो. ठीक है? ये भी एक, because of that there are plenty of backlogs. First you have to wait. There's a long queue. Okay, सरकारी मैटर के साथ बहुत सारे सिविल इश्यूज, क्रिमिनल इश्यूज, ओके, बेल के लिए अप्लाई करना है, लॉन्ग लाइन लगता था. नाउ आपकी हियरिंग के लिए इट कैन बी डिजिटली डन. सो इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स क्या है? द CJI इंट्रोड्यूस्ड रिफॉर्म्स. सो करंट CJI कौन है? श्री सूर्यकांत. It's a very nice direction. I mean, it's a good step in the right direction to lessen the burden of cases that are currently piled up in the Indian judicial system. Okay, definitely it's going to help. Transparency के लिए to seeks to reduce judicial backlog and arbitrary prioritization. अभी तक क्या होता था? फर्स्ट कम फर्स्ट सर्विस भी कभी कभी होता था. जो आके पहले बोला उसके हियरिंग मिल गया. नाउ प्रायोरिटी बेसिस चेंज हो गया. They will classify, they have categorized themes and subjects on the basis of which priority will be decided, and accordingly you'll get your dates. जो urgent matters है, they'll be auto listed within 48 hours. और कुछ नहीं है. Indigenous Hansa 3NG trainer aircraft unveiled. Hansa 3NG basically क्या है? It's not meant for the defense personnel who are already part of the forces, not for an Air Force officer, for a trainee pilot, trainee Air Force officer. That means using this aircraft, you can practice. This is just like test series for them, okay? Not the main UPSC test. A very crude analogy, I know, but that is what Hansa is all about. Hansa 3NG, indigenously built, okay? So DRDO and CSIR, Council for Scientific and Scientific Industrial Research, and DRDO is your Defense Research Development Organization. They have developed this light trainer aircraft for pilot training. Light hai ye, this is not heavy. That means you cannot attach nuclear warheads, okay, or drop bombs. Only for controlling the aircraft. More efficient, safer, modern avionics versus old Hansa models. NG stands for new generation. ठीक है. Government also reviewed progress of 19-seater Saras Mk2 aircraft. This is for civilian purpose also. This is an aircraft which can carry normal civilian passengers. Not very big, 20 to 25. So these are good directions in the government's push for Udan scheme. ठीक है. उड़े देश का आम नागरिक. And also for a good step to boost indigenous defense technology. That's it, nothing else. Coming to the next piece of news, SIM binding mandatory for messaging apps. ठीक है. तो SIM अभी mandatory हो गया. SIM is what is inserted in your phone that helps you to connect with the service providers. I mean to help connect with your friends, near and dear ones, without which you cannot place a call. So now SIM registration is actually mandatory for all the apps, but only for the first time. एक बार आता है when you install an app, WhatsApp हो, Telegram हो, there will be an OTP sent to your the same SIM. Then you have to use it and you get registered. Sometimes it's also possible if your friend wants to use in your name, you will receive the OTP and the app will be in your friend's phone और वो उसको install करके use करता रहेगा. What if he is misusing your name? Okay. So to streamline all these things, to make sure that there is no inadvertent developments related to using social media apps, the government has made it mandatory. Also, sometimes you use your phone and you can also open WhatsApp on a laptop by just scanning the QR code. That continues for days, months sometimes, unscrutinized. What if your laptop is stolen? Your phone is with you, laptop is stolen, and still your WhatsApp is on, somebody else is using. It doesn't need a SIM. अभी क्या हो गया? The government has made a rule. If you're using WhatsApp, Telegram, or any other social media app on a device which does not have a SIM, it will get auto logged out in 6 hours. ठीक है. कोई आपका फोन लैपटॉप अगर चोरी किया होगा तो 6 घंटे के अंदर वो बंद हो जाएगा. It will again ask for a new OTP, and because that thief will not have your phone to get the OTP, it will get auto logged out. You'll be saved. But वो 6 घंटे के अंदर भी बहुत कुछ हो सकता है ना. But that's its importance of this step. The players are saying, for example, WhatsApp, Telegram वाले ये बोल रहे कि this is going to breach privacy. हर टाइम आप ये करते रहो, the SIM details will be shared with the government also. Because SIM के साथ क्या होता है? When you get a new SIM, you send your photo ID, Aadhaar card or any other identity proof, name, address, everything. So it's a secure way to know who is using the app. Okay. It aims to curb impersonation. That means nobody can pretend to be you. Okay. Fraud and anonymous misuse. Okay. Even if what is as per the current provision, somebody else can use your account without having your SIM. So to stop all these possible misdeeds, this new step has been taken by the government. A rule applies under updated telecom regulations. It raises privacy debates, of course. There will be some sort of opposition no matter what the step is. The government says it improves accountability. Okay, that's it. Let's move to the next piece of news. India's major wins at ITU's WTDC 2025. So ITU is your International Telecom Union, which is a specialized agency of the United Nations, and it deals with measures or provisions related to internet and telecommunication. Okay. Also international, all sorts of international communication. For example, laying cables using sea routes or ocean routes to lay cables. All these are governed by the standards set by ITU, which is your International Telecommunication Union, headquartered in Geneva, and a specialized agency of the United Nations. हुआ क्या? इतना is important. बाकी हुआ क्या? India secured leadership roles in global telecom development forums. Okay, it's a periodic thing. India is not going to be part of the governing body forever. India is a member of this ITU. There are 194 members, but they have this day-to-day governing body also. For the next 4 years, India is going to, for not for the next 4 years, India is, that is for UNESCO thing, will come to that. So India has become leadership, India secured leadership role. That means India is going to take part in the formulation of global policies and laws. And India impressed the other countries with its digital public infrastructure related steps and measures. People were impressed with India's BHIM or UPI. Okay, so that is definitely going to strengthen India's position in shaping global telecom policy. Okay, that's it, nothing else. ये याद रख लेना हेडक्वार्टर्स किधर है, कितने मेंबर्स हैं. All the United Nations member states are also member of the ITU. Mostly I think the United States has not withdrawn. जैसे आपका हुआ यूनेस्को के केस में. This is very interesting. Although there is no direct placement for this piece of news, is big tech's superintelligence narrative inflating the AI bubble. Narrative, that means a story. A story which may be close to reality or far away from reality. And this story is related to artificial intelligence and the different models of AI, artificial intelligence. We all know right now we're using what you can say weak AI or artificial narrow intelligence. Okay, artificial narrow intelligence हम use करते हैं ANI. Artificial general intelligence आगे आने वाला है, and artificial super intelligence, which is just a theoretical concept. It exists only on paper. But you must have seen, we can see AI tools all around, ChatGPT, Gemini, okay? But whatever you're using, can we say that we have attained that level of AI related technology which we are professing? हम बात को हो सकता है बढ़ाकर बता रहे हैं. That is what the story is all about. Many companies, they are promoting AI in a fashion as if we have reached this super intelligence stage. They're promoting use ChatGPT. ChatGPT can cure all your problems. ChatGPT has its own limitations. And every other AI model has its own set of limitations. But just to sell their products, okay, they're saying AI is very important and use our tool. Or they want to collaborate with governments, okay, they want to solve government level problems. And many companies like OpenAI, Microsoft, Google, they're convincing the governments and the people in general that many more challenges are coming and our models are well equipped to address all these problems. So that means बात को बढ़ा के दिखाना. They're showing what does not exist. And they are selling this narrative, which is inflating the AI bubble. Every time you open a video, you'll see an advertisement related to AI related skills. How to gain AI related skills or how to upgrade and enhance your existing skills. So everybody's in a rush. But do we need to be in a rush? Have we attained that level of development? So this is what the discussion is all about. Fear चल रहा है. If you don't know these tools, if you don't know how to use these tools, you'll be out of employment. Okay? Which is happening, retrenchment. But जितना स्किल में नहीं हो रहा है, उससे ज़्यादा बढ़ा के दिखाया जा रहा है. ठीक है? Current AI is powerful, but still far from the true general intelligence. Okay? This theme is very important from the point of view of GS mains. Is is artificial intelligence smart enough to beat human beings? Critically examine. Then you can add this as a point. Experts are also saying, or some experts or a group of experts believe that this is just a narrative. Push for realistic expectations and transparent capability reporting. Debate impacts regulation, funding, and public perception. Funding तो मिलता ही है when you show your product as something greater than what it actually is. The government will invest, you will invest. Okay. बस इतना ही है इसमें. So this is a nice line. You can use points, borrow points, and use in your mains answer. अभी तक के लिए. Next piece of news, SOPs issued to Delhi civic bodies for the relocation of stray dogs. It has been in the news for the last 4-5 months. Supreme Court ने यही बोला था कि all the dogs should not be taken out of street. Only those dogs which are dangerous or are rabid or are ferocious. Okay. Other dogs can simply be vaccinated and released back to where they were. Focus on these things. Vaccination होगा इसमें. Vaccination means vaccinate the dogs so that the spread of rabies can be stopped. Tag कर दो. Tag means use an identity mark. उनके कान में चिपका दो, कलर कोडिंग कर दो या फिर कुछ और तिलक लगा दो so that they are distinguishable from those dogs which have not been vaccinated. Okay. And non-cruel relocation. जहाँ से लेते वहीं पे छोड़ो. ऐसे locality पे मत छोड़ो कि they don't have access to food and water. Don't dump them in a jungle or a remote location away from human habitation. Because dogs always love to coexist with the masters, human beings. Okay. And there are many people who are fond of dogs. So vaccinate them. Vaccinate करने के बाद release them in their primary place where they were before they were taken away, and not send back to a remote place where they will die because of starvation. Civic bodies must coordinate with residential welfare associations and NGOs. ठीक है करने से पहले, because many dog lovers live in societies and there are many people in societies who are afraid of dogs or they have dog related phobia. They have to be kept in the loop. Only aggressive dogs can be isolated, others must be returned post treatment. जो rabid है, ferocious है, उसको हम अलग कर देंगे. Which strikes a balance between animal welfare and public safety. India re-elected to UNESCO Executive Board. India secured a seat with strong support from member nations for the next 4 years. Again, they may ask two statement question. UNESCO is an organ of the United Nations. True or false? False. UNESCO, just like ILO, just like Indian International Telecom Union, these are specialized agencies. Okay, specialized agencies of United Nations, not organs. Organs कौन से हो गए? Secretariat, United Nations Security Council. These are organs. ये सब जो full forms आते हैं ना, abbreviations, most of them are actually specialized agencies. Okay. World Economic Forum is not a specialized agency, but these are UNEPs. Okay. 16 to 17 hai, you can go through the list. Very important. So it's going to give India influence over global education, culture, heritage policies. Okay. India is now going to have a greater say for these next 4 years. Opportunity to promote cultural preservation and digital education and reflect India's rising soft power in multilateral bodies. Important, not that important. थोड़ा बहुत important है from the mains point of view. Now, I have coming to the last news. Mystery of the prehistoric Buttlefoot salt. Buttlefoot is actually a fossil found, which was found in Ethiopia, the Afar region, okay, where most of the old fossils are found. If you're an anthropology student, this piece of news is very important. They may ask a 10 marker, compulsory 10 marker. Fossil found in Ethiopia. Now, the studies show that it belonged to human ancestor. See, there is a general belief, an old belief, that one species gave rise to another. एक आया hominin species, उससे ये हुआ, ultimately human beings appeared. This is a theory which believes in the evolution in a linear fashion. One led to other. But new studies are saying evolution did not take place that way. ऐसा नहीं कि एक डॉट से दूसरे डॉट से दूसरे, ऐसे मेनी डॉट्स एग्जिस्टेड टुगेदर. Australopithecus, okay, Homo erectus, Denisovans, UPSC asked a question. These are all hominin species. That means human-like species, but not Homo sapiens. And many of these species coexisted. हो सकता है वो आसपास रहते हों या फिर थोड़ी दूर में रहते हों. ऐसा नहीं कि पहले ये आया उसके बाद वो आया. Okay, so that is what has been found. And the most important thing about this species is that it was a hominin species, but it could dwell both on ground as well as on trees. On ground मतलब ये terrestrial भी था and at the same time arboreal. Arboreal means tree living. कैसे पता चला? There are some evidence related to its graspable feet. मतलब हमारे जैसे हाथ में ऐसे होते हैं ना, we can grasp something using our palms, using our hands. They had graspable hands as well as feet. ठीक है, तो वो पेड़ भी चढ़ सकते थे by holding the branches using their limbs, just like many apes can, chimpanzees and orangutans. Okay, confirms multiple hominin species coexisted with different locomotion styles, challenges linear human evolution, just like I said. ये एक साथ भी रह सकते होंगे. That means evolution did not take place in a linear fashion. Okay, so that's all about today's news. Today we have covered all the important and also in news. Now it's time to take questions related to today's current affairs. Please attempt the questions, okay, even if you're not marking them correctly, it will help you revise. And lastly, please go through the digital current affairs by Visionize, which is a very nice initiative to enrich your present knowledge and to diversify, different type to enhance your hold across all the subgenres of current affairs. Okay, so till then, wish you all the very best. Have a nice day.